Welcome to the Firebelly Social Show. We're focused on talking to food and beverage brands that are on a mission to make the world better.
Hey, everyone. It's Duncan here with another episode of the Firebelly Social Show. We're so excited for you to join Arnell and me as we go on this journey to interview and feature founders, CEOs, leaders of mission-driven food and beverage companies. So I'm so excited to have you join and listen today. Arnell, what's happening?
Hey, Duncan, and thanks everyone for tuning in to the latest episode of the Firebelly Social Show. We have a great show lined up for you today, talking with Eli, co-founder and COO of snack brand Absurd Snacks. This episode is brought to you by Firebelly Marketing. At Firebelly, we help mission-based food and beverage brands bring people closer through social media marketing. So if you're ready to use social media to create more community and more excitement around your food and beverage brand, go to firebellymarketing.com to learn more.
Thanks, Arnell. You're so excited. We got Eli Banks in the house from Absurd Snacks. So welcome, my man. Welcome.
Thank you. So excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
We are so excited. And just to make sure we got it right, you are not only the co-founder, but you are also the chief operating officer.
Indeed. Yes. So, we started it about a year and a half ago. And since I've been leading all things operations, distribution, production, product development, as well as kind of internal branding and strategy. So.
I mean, Arnell, I don't know if you noticed what a calm guy to be heading up operations. We love it. So we've got so much to talk to you about. Arnell, I'm going to get started with a couple of questions, and you can take it from there. But let's start with the very beginning. You know, how did this all start?
Yeah, absolutely. So I actually was a student at the University of Richmond. Graduated last May, just a little over a year out. In my senior year, we had a unique opportunity to be a part of a course called Benchtop Innovations. It was the kind of first of its kind experimental entrepreneurship class at U of R here in Virginia. And we had an opportunity to ideate, create, and then launch packaged food products all within a 9-month school year. So they split the class up in the first semester into 4 different groups of 4. And each group had to go out and find a problem in the market. So they sent us to grocery stores, went to farmers markets. We spoke to our family and friends, just trying to get a better idea of where the gaps lie. And one group came up with a problem in the market due to one of the members of their group. His name was Dan, and Dan had severe peanut and tree nut allergies his whole life. And every day he would come into class with the same granola bar. It's a seed-based granola bar. And it was labeled as nut-free, allergen-friendly, and said it was produced in a dedicated facility. But a few years back, he actually ended up in the hospital because it was subject to cross-contamination from peanuts, which he was deathly allergic to. So this allergy that he had been facing his whole life kind of posed an issue for him, and he really struggled to find other options. So he kind of stayed loyal to 1 or 2 products that he knew as safe for him. But we wanted to expand those horizons, and we wanted to make inclusive snacking more accessible to people like Dan with common food allergies. So we dug a little deeper, and we realized that 9 foods actually account for over 95% of all food allergies. And the FDA calls these the top 9 food allergens. And so we wanted to take fan favorite snacks that are typically subject to cross-contamination or contain ingredients like peanuts and tree nuts to make them more accessible and just make safe snacking easier for everyone. So our snacks are not only delicious and enjoyable and nutrient-rich for those who do have allergies, but also for those who don't. So we ended up coming up with Absurd Snacks, formerly Spill the Beans, and it is a trail mix alternative. So instead of your typical peanuts and tree nuts, we use chickpeas, fava beans that are crunchy, roasted to perfection, pair them with a seed and oat-based granola cluster, and then recently added in some dried fruit. We launched as a class together in March of 2022. We were able to get into some local retail stores, sell at farmers markets, and even launch an online e-commerce store. Started shipping to friends and family across the country. We built a little community here in Richmond and really just started to get the name out there. And the more we sold and talked to people, we realized that it wasn't just Dan that was facing this issue. It's really, something that a lot of people have to go through. And we didn't want that to be an issue. We wanted it to be something that was more of an opportunity. So when we were coming up on graduation, the class was given the option. You can call it a day and take what you've learned from this experience, or you can keep going with it. All of the IP and branding was owned by the students who had created it in the first place. So we were given that opportunity, and what ended up happening was 14 of the 16 students decided to go a different direction, take different jobs, or finish their undergrad studies. And my co-founder, Grace, and I decided that we had really fallen in love with what we were doing and wanted to take advantage of the opportunity and just see where we could go with it. So after we graduated last May, we took a step back, made Absurd Snacks our full-time jobs, and we spent the summer doing some improvements and revamping to make the product what you see here today.
Well, congratulations. That's amazing. That's so wonderful that we can intersect at this part of your journey. For the sake of people in our audience that maybe aren't familiar, the 9 allergens are milk, eggs, nuts, fish, crustaceans, shellfish, wheat, soy, sesame, and gluten. Is that correct?
Yes. So gluten is actually not considered the allergen, it's wheat, but the gluten sensitivity frequently comes from the wheat ingredients. So those two kind of go hand in hand. But yeah, those top 9 allergens are definitely account for the vast majority of all common food allergies. So addressing those 9, not saying that it solves everyone's allergies, because everyone is unique, and we definitely are cognizant of that, but we hope to be inclusive of as many people as possible.
And Arnel, what strikes me here, and Eli and you as well, is that we had a guest on a few weeks ago, Dr. Josh Anthony, and he was talking about the fact that personalized nutrition, meaning like nutrition that is developed personally for you, is inaccessible to most people. And so even as a very advanced country in so many different ways, our eating, actually, we're living in kind of like the late stages of an industrial food economy, the early stages of something being after that, right? And so this whole concept that you talked about of inclusivity, what it comes down to it in your words is allowing everyone to have food that they can eat.
Yeah, absolutely. So over the last summer, we went through a couple of incubator programs that taught us the process of customer discovery. And so because we were going hyperspeed all semester in school, we really wanted to make sure we were staying close to the consumer and fulfilling their needs and desires, especially since Grace and I actually aren't allergic to the top 9 food allergens. So we wanted to make sure that we were addressing those concerns in the right way. And in talking to, consumers with allergies, parents of kids with food allergies, even retailers and restaurant owners who, had to cater their options for these end consumers with the food allergies, we realized that it plays a big role in social settings. So even outside of the health concern, it also creates a level of anxiety and stress for some consumers, rightfully so. So in a social setting, they may just not eat altogether because they don't want to voice the fact that their allergies, get in the way of them eating whatever's available. So just providing a delicious and healthy option that everyone can enjoy is something that we set out to do in order to make it a little easier and take off that level of stress.
Very cool. I love that. Like you mentioned, even though you guys don't have allergies yourselves, the importance of connecting with the community, getting in touch with people, I think that's really important and a great way to connect with your customer. What do you feel like are some of the most creative ways you've seen people use your products that have food allergies? Other than trail mix, what different ways are they doing it?
It's really interesting that you asked that, because as soon as we released the product, we wanted to get as much feedback as possible. And we started noticing customers say, oh my gosh, I bought this last week at this market or that market, and I've been eating it every day on my yogurt, or I've been eating it as cereal. I just put milk over it. And we released it as a trail mix and are trying to market it as a trail mix. So just seeing how people get really creative with it, bring it and put it on a charcuterie board. At first, we were only selling larger family size bags. And a lot of people were saying that they would pack a little Ziploc bag of it, put it in their back pocket and take it for a bike ride or take it for a hike, take it on their run. And so we ended up making a single serve pouch to make it easier for, our consumers to just take it on the go with them. So their customer feedback and people in our community that give us amazing ideas play a big role in how we continue to grow and adjust our products to make it easier and more enjoyable for everyone.
That's very cool. And I think it's so interesting, like I said, people getting creative with it. And it does, as a business owner too, it unlocks a whole new idea of how to use the product, how to market the product as well. What would you say was some of your business? I know you guys just had your 1-year anniversary, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what would you say are some of your biggest challenges that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, the first that comes to mind is manufacturing. So in allergy free, we want to be able to guarantee that safety and security of consumers with severe allergies. And with that, we take a lot of ownership and responsibility to fulfill that and really be able to guarantee that security. So after we graduated, we wanted to find a manufacturer that was a dedicated, completely top-9 allergy-free facility. There are a lot of facilities where they'll have a clean down process and wipe down all the equipment, but it requires you to still have a message on the back of your packaging that says it's used in shared equipment. And so in order to just really guarantee that there would be no cross-contamination, we searched for upwards of 6 months to find the right partnership. And we were able to find a facility here in Richmond that we were able to produce completely top-9 free. Now we're looking into other options as we start to kind of scale up and see our sales and velocity increase, which is exciting, but also definitely a little scary because that aspect of our business is kind of a core value that we want to provide customers. So as we grow, that'll continue to be a growing pain, but also an opportunity in the future to really just own our manufacturing and make sure that we have complete insight into all those safety and quality procedures so we can make those guarantees for consumers.
So we wanted to just pause for a second. So we've got co-founder Eli Bank with us, as you know, and let's give a shout out to his co-founder, Grace Middle. Is that correct? Grace Middle?
Yeah, absolutely. Grace is my co-founder. She's CEO. She does an amazing job. And she wished she could be here today, but definitely a big shout out to her.
Big shout out to her. And I think that the message that I'm already getting from today's episode is that it is never too early to make a difference in the world. And here we have these two co-founders who have gone through a galvanizing experience in college and decided to, pedal to the metal, move forward to make the world a better place, in spite of the fact that they don't suffer from allergies, that they're wanting to make the world better. And I wanted to ask you, as you've gone through this and what are the reactions, that you get from people, both on, hey, you're making my life better, but also like, what are they saying about the flavors?
Yeah, the flavors are always going to be a work in progress, but we try to make sure that people know that feedback is welcome. I think, especially when, we're at events or farmers markets or we're selling the product ourselves, demoing in retail stores, and we share that it's our business with people or that we created it. People feel a little bad about giving constructive criticism, but at the end of the day, like, it's our job to put ourselves in their shoes. And we want it to be as enjoyable for them as possible. The reactions to the story are awesome. I think it really resonates with people. And we always want, our college route to to be part of our story. But we also want people to feel comfortable and excited. We always say that we want people to feel good about the products that they're purchasing, the food that they're eating, and the people that they support. And so purchasing our product is really being a part of our community, and we hope that they support the people behind the brand as well as the products themselves.
That's really interesting. We love to hear stories like this, and I'm reminded, of course, of one of our favorite guests, Jamba Dunn, who is the founder of Rowdy Mermaid. And the reason I'm bringing it up is we both, Arnell and I, got converted to the product so big time that we both are consumers in our daily lives. And it sounds like your product, the trail mix, would be such an excellent pairing with a light, fresh kombucha that doesn't have a lot of sugar and doesn't taste like shit. So not only does it not taste like shit, it tastes great. So shout out to John with an excellent food pairing idea. Arnaud,
totally love that. If John's listening, let's do a collab. We'd love that.
What do you got, Arnell?
Yeah. So you mentioned that you changed the name. So what is the inspiration behind Absurd?
Yeah, good question. So the original name that the team had come up with last year was Spill the Beans. Unfortunately, there was a trademark issue, and so we could not move forward. But kind of a part of our whole community strategy is that we want everyone that has touch point to our business, everyone that supports us and allows Absurd Snacks to be what it is, we want them to be a part of the process. And so when we had to change our name, we went out, posted on our Instagram, sent emails to everyone in our network and our community, and we asked them for suggestions on what we should change it to based on, who we were as student founders and the problem that we were trying to solve. And the response was amazing. We had something like 300, 400 responses. And we sifted through them as a team, and we ended up choosing 3. And 2 of them were a little more specific to like the bean aspect of this product. And we felt like down the line, if we're looking at future product expansion, there'd be more opportunity if we had it a little less specific to one product. And Absurd Snacks was perfectly fitting. We're absurd because we were college founders. We're absurd because we use ingredients that you wouldn't typically find in a snack mix. We're absurd because it's ridiculously good and you wouldn't expect it to be as healthy as it is. And we're absurd because it's inclusive of everyone, which is really, really rare to find. So we felt like it fit the personality of the people as well as the products and kind of our brand ethos. And I think to this day, we hope that the branding and our little beanie character can carry that name forward and do it some justice.
That's awesome.
When people want to order, I don't want to forget this part. When people want to order, where let's say someone in Georgia or Michigan or Arizona wants to order, where do they go?
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you asking. So we do sell on our website, absurdsnacks.com. For all the listeners tuning in today, use the code Firebelly and you'll get 20% off of your order. Appreciate you becoming a part of our community and supporting. If you are in the Virginia area, we do have about 40 retail stores. We also have a couple scattered throughout the country, but feel free to visit the store locator on our website to see if we have a location near you. And if we're not already on your favorite retail store shelves, please do send us a note and we'll do our best to make it there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. In terms of just kind of like being candid, what are some of the struggles that you guys are facing at the moment?
Yeah. So, one thing that we've been dabbling with is we have a number of sales channels. So we've been selling online, but doing all distribution by hand is very time consuming. And just being a 2-person team, we did welcome a few interns this summer, which is really awesome. And we're excited to have them on board. But just being a small team and, doing a lot of those time-consuming tasks by hand, we definitely have to prioritize where we put our efforts. So we always love to do demos in our retail stores and keep those relationships close while we're also trying to build the community online and drive more traffic to our website, create closer one-on-one relationships with our consumers directly on social media, as well as showing up at events around town. And then we've also recently started to work with universities and hospitals to bring safe snacking to consumers where they're needed the most. And this is a really amazing opportunity, especially, if someone is in the hospital from an allergic reaction and they're able to have a safe option that's more enjoyable. That is really an amazing opportunity. But spreading yourself so thin across all these channels can, of course, lead to distractions. And so we just want to make sure that we're focused on the right things, and are putting, with our limited capacity in production, that we're putting our product on the shelves that are the most meaningful, in the right places to get them to the people that need them the most. So that's one thing I think that we'll continue to work on and refine and change as we grow. But it's definitely something that you always have to keep a close eye on, just to make sure that we're putting our resources where they're the most effective.
Awesome. Very cool. And it's interesting to say, with you two as basically the two-man team, of course, having some help, what does a normal day in a life for you look like? Running this business, you two.
That's a tough question, because the best part about founder life is no 2 days are the same. But let's see, we are packing inventory, keeping track of everything we got on hand. We are driving to retail stores, dropping off new product put on shelves. We're making sure that it looks good, propped up on shelves. We are in the production facility with our team, making sure that everything's going smoothly, making sure that the product is coming out consistent and safe, of course. We are prospecting new accounts. We are keeping in touch with investors and advisors and consumers, spreading the word. We do as part of our community efforts, we do a ton of events. So over the weekends, we often appear at markets. Last weekend in Richmond, there was a big outdoor sports and music festival called River Rock, and we had a booth there, which gave us the opportunity to meet with thousands of athletes and people from across the country, just get the brand name out there and give people samples and get people excited about what we're up to. No 2 days are the same, but it's definitely a blast. Trying to keep the machine moving as well as grow and take advantage of exciting opportunities all at the same time. So
that's awesome. Yay. What would you say is what's next for us, Absurd Snacks? What's your dreams, aspirations? Where would you like to see the brand be?
Totally. So let's see. In terms of community, we are working on a big project called the Absurd Cookbook that is going to be a community curated cookbook. We've already began fielding recipes from our community, doing some collaborations with other brands as well as influencers in our space, and getting submissions from our followers as well. We're building this cookbook as a way to make inclusive, allergy-friendly eating more accessible. So not all of the recipes are completely top 9 free, but we provide alternatives for every allergen that is in the recipes so that it makes it easier for people with certain dietary restrictions to substitute out those ingredients. And the biggest part of that is it being all curated from our community. So we're trying to bring people together, spread the absurd love. We're really, really excited about that. It should come out sometime this summer, in June or July. And we have been onboarding with our first natural national retailer and are planning a statewide launch. So that is very exciting. Looking about that, and for you all to see it on shelves. And let's see. Yeah, just going to continue pushing the product. Down the line, we'd love to add more flavors on. And we have some ideas for other products in the future, but We really just want to make sure that we can master this one first. So getting it on every shelf in the Mid-Atlantic, building that community, meeting other people in the industry. We're excited to see what we can do with the support of our audience.
That's super cool. Arnell and I, I think one of the most important things we want to leave you with is that, we speak to, I think we're in the 65th or 68th show now, something like that. Maybe it's above 70. I can't recall, but, where what you founders have in common is that you're responding to a need that you see. And while a lot of people recognize the need, you are moved into action and to dedicate your life, to make a enterprise out of helping people feel better and building a business around that. And so that is absurdly amazing. So, thank you for doing that. And I think that, in the middle of your no 2 days of the same busyness, I want you to just one time randomly think about the Firebelly Social Show and Arnell and Duncan to tell you that, hey, we're grateful for what you're doing. We're thankful for what you're doing. And there's so many people that listen to the show that reach out to us and say, boy, that was a great guest. We can't say enough about that. What other is there anything before we close today? Is there anything exciting that you have that you want to share with the world, or you want to give some advice to the next round of students that they should do this 100% or they should not do it 100%? Like what's on your mind?
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. I think it's important to know that being a founder is no easy task, but it's extremely rewarding. And at the end of the day, knowing that we're able to do our best to make a difference in someone's lives, it's really rewarding. So, important to fall in love with the problem and not the product, and just continue to iterate and get that feedback and really take it to heart. Being a good listener is such an important skill as a founder, just to make sure that you are not staying narrow-minded. You're always able to be nimble. Every day some other issue will come up, but we just see issues as opportunities. And every time that we're able to flip that and make the most of something that comes up, then it really ends up opening new doors that you may have never saw coming. So, in terms of, sorry, I'm repeating.
No.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I think you were going to impart advice to the next round of students.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If I had advice for rounds of students, let's see. I would say never be afraid to ask for advice. People around you are there to support you, and it can be really scary and daunting to go out of your way to ask for advice, but it's not a weakness, it's a strength. Being able to build a network of people who want to support you and want to see you succeed are going to be willing to open doors for you, introduce you to people who may be able to help you succeed, and just never say no, because even though that person that you're talking to might not be the answer to your issue or your opportunity, you never know who they might know that will open that door for you. Sorry, there's a lot of background noise.
Oh, it's really good. That was a great answer. So for all our listeners, absurdsnacks.com, use the code Firebelly to get a 20% off. Very kind of Grace and Eli to do this. And thank you so much for doing this today. I did want to say one last thing about these guys that are making such an amazing contribution, and they're actually back at the University of Richmond at the Robbins School first startup in residence. So right after he told us about what he's doing for students, he's actually there doing it live and in person, and I'm sure sharing his experiences. So thank you so much, Eli. We really appreciate you being here, and we hope you come back.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad we got to talk a little bit more and share with the world.
Awesome.
Really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thanks for being a part of our community. And Arnel, you got a sponsor message to take us out?
Absolutely. This episode is brought to you by Firebelly Marketing. At Firebelly, we help mission-based food and beverage brands to bring people closer through social media marketing. So if you're ready to use social media to create more community and excitement around your food and beverage brand, go to firebellymarketing.com to learn more.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. It's been great having co-founder Eli Banks from Absurd Snacks on the show today, and we shall see you on the flip side.
Thanks for listening to the Firebelly Social Show. We'll see you again next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes.